Hello, everyone. It's Tom. I'm back. I gotta get caught up. I just sat down. It'll give me a second to get everything going if you're on here. Hey, James. Oh, I have to mute that. There's two people on. Oh, me and you. We're it so far. Hope everything's going good with you. Everything's going good with me. A little tired, but good. Let's see if anybody else. Oh, there's four people now. It's getting there. Don't have a whole lot going on. The weather's been crazy, but just hey, Randy, the weather's been crazy. Hey, Mike, we just had a thunderstorm with hail, pea-sized hail in November. That's kind of strange. Hey, Chris, hope everything's good. And yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy weather week this past week through today. Got over 2 inches of rain today, probably about 2.25 inches, I guess. It was 2 inches before the storm came through. Hey, Scott. We got Chris, Scott, Randy, Mike, and James. So I updated my background. That's my setup I have going into wintertime with the covers over the top of them in the back mostly, a little overlap in the front. That mostly so it doesn't blow off the wind like the one on this side right here. I had to push down a little bit more. I did that already. So basically, it keeps the wind from going through the hives. I got the barn that helps block the wind a lot too. So it's a win-win. I have them pushed together a little bit, not 100%, but some of them pushed together, some of them I didn't. Well, depending on what I felt like at the time, pushing them together. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. This past Saturday, it got up to 73 degrees and every beehive was flying. So that was a good sign. And a good number of them flying in and out. So all of them were looking good. Hey, Feathers. Hope everything's good. Don't know if I know you or not. Your new name, Jessica. Howdy. I think you're on before. Collector Rick. Yep. Gold, silver, honey, and bees. Woohoo! Collector Rick. There you go. I got it for you. Did it quit raining? I think so, Randy. Let me check because we had at 6 o'clock we had a storm come through, and that was the end of it. Whatever that if that passed all the way through. Let me see. Come on, computer. Yes. Yeah, there might be a little scattered shower. But yeah, basically it stopped raining. It's all in central Ohio. It's hitting Columbus, down the middle of Ohio right now, Ironton area. And a little stuff up by Indianapolis coming across. So, you're from Maine. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thanks, Feather, for watching my videos. You're probably a month behind me weather-wise, or wintertime a month ahead of me. That's right. Yeah, because I've been up in Maine before, up there in Lewiston area in the Bangor, Maine, and the East Coast there. Beautiful country up there. I really enjoy being up there. someday I want to go take my wife up there, take a vacation. Um, last Saturday, talking about weather, last Saturday got down to 22 degrees. That was a low, and we got 2.5 inches of snow officially. And I think that was close to what I got. Yeah. So Monday we got 2.5 inches of rain. It never got above, and it got up to 32 to 33 degrees. So I think technically it got above freezing. Tuesday was cold. I think it got maybe up to upper 30s. But then by Saturday it was 73 degrees. The bees were flying again. So they're clustered, then they're unclustered. And since then we've been getting 30, mid 30s to low 50s every day with some rain. Like today, we got 2 inches of rain. Tomorrow, it's supposed to be misty rain. I think it might still be misting out. It's supposed to be misting out, light rain. It doesn't show up on radar, but it's like a mist. It's supposed to go on tonight through tomorrow morning and then actually be stopped of rain slash mist. And then be cloudy all day tomorrow. I think it's supposed to be cloudy on Thursday, and then we're supposed to get rain again on Friday, late Friday, until Saturday morning. And then Saturday and Sunday is supposed to be pretty nice out, sunny and in the low 50s. So that's kind of weather we've been getting. Hey, Flower Street, Brian and Jen. Hope everything's going good out there out west. Everything's good here. I still got some honey left. I still got 3.5 buckets. I got 2.5 buckets in my bottling tank that I need to bottle pretty soon. The rest of that, those gets 150 bottles, 140 bottles. So I do 1 pounders or 3 pounders. I'll probably do a dozen 3 pounders. I don't sell a whole lot of them, but I do sell them. You in Florida, Brian? You at a convention or work? No, your work is bees. So what you doing in Florida? Visiting the guys down there? Chris Warner, commercial beekeeper. So yeah, it's been it's pretty. What I would say it's typical Ohio Valley weather. 2 or 3 days in the 60s and 70s, and 2 or 3 days in the 20s and 30s. Rain in the middle, storms in the middle. So I'm glad. I used to have more Italian type genetics, and they can't handle up and down extremes, 50-degree changes in 3 or 4 days, 2 days. So the Carnies and the Caucasians and the Russians, they can handle that kind of stuff a lot better. I'm sure I got some Italian genetics still in there. At least I know I do, because I got some Corey Stevens queens. I got 5 of them. 2 of them swarmed, so they're now daughters that made it with the mutt green queens I have. Well, thanks, Brian. Yes, or Jan, whoever puts that one. Brian, probably. Yeah, I'm doing real well. My knee's over a year old since I had my surgery. Um, and it still aches a little bit here and there. I mean, I still do. The hardest part is I still favor a little bit, like when I'm bending down and kneel down and stuff like that. And I try to teach myself not to favor it so I can build it up even better. All right, what's that, James? Wow. Tempo site is. I got a DeWalt battery operated. Okay. Well, that's cool, James. Yeah. I have one. Well, no, do I have a battery one or not? I know I have one with the cable. I think I do with the battery one, but since I don't treat my bees anymore, it's just sitting there. I need to get rid of it. And Brian, yes, I'm going to Nalby. I'll be there. It's only an hour and 50-minute drive for me. I'll be there Wednesday for the dinner. And all 3 days I plan to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Um, I haven't bought a whole lot yet. I bought 4 complete hives that consist of 2 deeps, a medium, hives from Rossman Apiaries. So I need to pick those up sometime when I'm there. Probably Saturday. That's usually when I do it. So that way I don't have to worry about locking up my truck continuously all the time. Oh, you'll be out in the Texas meeting? Okay, so I won't see you. That's a bummer. I'll see you, Chris. Well, you'll be able to recognize me, so I don't know if I'll recognize you. So point me out when you see me. So we can shake hands, say hi, and all that good stuff. I truly mean that. One of my goals now is learn more about everybody. Yeah. Oh, you'll be at Nobby. Oh, that's good. Okay, I misread your comp thing. Okay, that's cool. I'll see you there. Good talking to you. You and Jen. My wife won't be there because she's a school teacher and she doesn't like. She already misses a lot of days with her mom being in memory care unit. She fell a couple times here in the past month. Didn't break anything, but all bruised up. So not good. So she's dealing that with more with me. My parents are already both passed away, so I've gone through that stage of life, which is a stage you get when you get older. Now I get Medicare calls every freaking day. Medicare is a pain in the butt. I'm not even signed up, and I can't even sign up until middle of next year. Well, I can sign up a little bit ahead of time, but that's about it. And they're sending me stuff in the mail. They're calling me every day. It's crazy. That's my rant, Medicare. I do need to order. I have deeps. What I'm doing is I'm selling 4 hives when I sell my nukes because every year when I sell nukes, I get a half dozen people ask me if I sell woodenware. So this year I'm going to say yes, I do. I'm going to wax tip 2 sets of them, and I have 2 sets on non-waxed before I start selling nukes. So I'll do that early in the year. And anything that I need to dip. I need to buy about 70 medium stupor frames. I haven't done that yet. See who I'm going to buy them from. I might buy them from Bill. I bought my frames last year from Bill. Shenandoah Bees. So I'm not real sure yet. I haven't looked into that yet. I guess I got to get my act together. I mean, we're less than what? We're less than 2 months. We're what? 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks away, approximately. Maybe 7. Time's flying. Yeah, I need to buy some global patties too. That's on my list too, Brian. Thanks for bringing that back up. I'm not gonna buy any. I might buy some wax candles if I see anything unique that I don't have. I don't have a big assortment, but um, something like that. I know they're not cheap. Those molds. And then I should buy some beeswax so I get my money back out of the molds faster. Yeah, I don't have anything big listed either. Just like I said, stuff that I need, and start my first year of selling woodenware. Um, I'm not getting into. I probably should buy some hive tools and stuff like that in case they want to buy hive tools and little things like that. So it's just the start of having a little bit of woodenware on the west side of Cincinnati. There was no stores, no nothing on the west side of Cincinnati. You have to drive to the pretty far to the northeast, probably a 45 to an hour drive, and or you got to go to the east side, which is over an hour drive. So not far really, but people like to be local. Nancy's taking the winter time off. It's just me and anybody who wants to jump on. Brian down in Florida, you can jump on. Or Randy, I know he gets on. It's Saturdays. Or that's Joey. Randy can get on. I don't think he's ever gotten on. I got to take this one comment off. But show. All right, let me see. Bill, hi, Bill. No, I'm not. I don't, Bill, I'm not sold out of honey. I got 2.5 gallons and 2.5 pails, 5 gallon buckets left that I got in my honey tank, and I got one bucket I haven't dumped in yet. Hey, Russ. Hey, Todd. So I still got basically 3.5 buckets of honey left. I sell almost all my honey, 90% of it wholesale to retail stores in my area here where I live, all within probably 10 miles of where I live. And I have just enough stores that all my honey that I produce every year lasts me to summertime. So basically, I don't run out of honey selling at the stores throughout the year. I try to always have stock available. This year is going to be tight because the spring flow was a big zero, but the spring/summer flow was the best ever. So I did get a little bit more honey than I thought I was going to get, hardly any. I only got like 80% of what a bad year is, a poor year is. So it was still a bad year, but I got enough to get through sales this year. And I've noticed my sales are a little bit slower this year. I think the economy's making a little bit of difference. Yeah, people don't have to have honey, but it's still going good. So the reason I do that is some of my other beekeepers around me say, Tom, why do they always buy your honey and don't buy my honey? And the reason is your honey only lasts for 2 months. It's gone by end of summer. And then they buy my honey and they get used to buying my honey because it's there 365, 24/7, basically. So that's my strategy. I probably will add one more store next year. It seems like I add about one store per year to sell the honey. And it usually takes them about 2 years to really start selling the honey. People don't know it's there, and then they finally do and try it. And then they start buying it on a regular basis. Hey, Russell A. So that's about the gist of it. So I might buy a little bit more beekeeping supplies for my new customers that want to buy hives. So I would say 80% of my nukes I sell are new beekeepers or second-year beekeepers or at worst third-year beekeepers. And they're always asking me if I have some woodenware for them to buy. So right now it's going to be 4 complete hive sets. and that's it. Um, so if there's anybody here that wants to send me, like Bill at Shenandoah Bees or somebody to go to their website, I'll be more than welcome to put that in my barn for them to see, for me to promote. So, anybody got any questions about anything? Shoot them on me. Make them bold or something, or say question so I can catch them. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, you got the thunderstorms. I saw they came through your area. They came through my area too. Did you get hail? Sarah, I did. Pea-size hail. Let me know. Hey, someday you're right. We got to meet for lunch. I'm retired now, so driving an hour west, I can we can go have lunch sometime. It would just be me because my wife's a school teacher. She's working. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a good little storm. It's been raining all day. Anyway, I'll shoot you an email, Sarah. We can get set up something. That sounds good. Well, what the heck did I pick here? Okay. Keith? Is Keith here? Hey, Keith. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Mr. Stillman here. Half track. That's cool. I didn't see your comment at first. Sorry about that, Keith. I guess I was talking, not checking. So, as of right now, my neighbor has not contacted me on selling his property to me. His horse farm lot, 2.419 acres. So as of right now, I can only have 4 beehives on my property for the regulations of Ohio. So I did pick up actually today. I picked up a new Perry to put my house as a new yard. It's actually going to be on top of a building, a 1-story building. It's at a welding shop where they weld stuff for people. Um, Weld shop's been around, started in 1962. So it's an old weld shop. They got everything. They even got a couple real model old airplanes sticking on telephone poles up in the backyard. That the engines are taken out for display. Kind of neat little stuff. Swab Welding's the name of the company, and they're 3.1 miles away from my yard, so just at that magic 3 mile mark. And if I put it on there in the back of the lot, the back building is probably closer to 3.2 miles. So that should work pretty good. And I actually sell honey about a quarter mile down the road that I go to anyway to check the selling honey. So that's a win-win if I can put some hives there next year. So I just talked to the owner of the property, Dave. I just talked to him actually today, and I'll be heading back there probably in about this later this week, early next week. StreamYard runs names. If you run it through YouTube or somebody else's, they're not names. That's what's going on, Keith. It all depends on what streaming platform you use and how you use it. I go from StreamYard to YouTube. I think if you go from YouTube to StreamYard, you get the their at town name versus your name. I haven't switched because I like to have the names versus your business or your site name. Your AI, it's really your AI name. So that's good. So if I can put probably about 5 to 7 hives there, at my third apiary that I picked up this year, a couple months ago, they're going to be my main location. I'm probably going to have I got 7 hives there now. I'm probably going to put 5 more hives there or 6 more hives there. That'll give me 12 to 13 hives on his location. Then I can put 5 hives at my first location. That'll be 17 hives. And then if I put the about another 5 more on the on top of the building, that'll give me all my hives that I have in my yard right now. So that's my game plan. Well, Vincent, this is an old regulation on bees. You're not considered a farmer, which beekeepers are considered a farmer in Ohio, unless you have 5 acres or more. And then you have no regulations whatsoever. You can have as many hives as you want, etc. If you have less than 5 acres, you're only allowed to have 2 acres, 2 hives per acre. Well, I have 2.95 acres. I had 3 acres, I could have 6 hives on my property. But I only got 2 full acres. One's a 0.95 acre. So that's their regulation. So if I even had a half acre more, I could have 6 hives on my property. And you got that. Plus, you got to be 25 feet from any property line. But if you got 3 acres or 2 acres, having your hives 25 feet from any property line is not a problem. But if I had 5 acres, I don't even have that property regulation. I could put my beehives right on the property line. It's kind of weird. That's government for you. You have no regulations if you got 5 acres, and then if you got less than 5 acres, you can put 2 per acre, and you got to be 25 feet from your neighbor. You can be closer than 25 feet, but then you got to build a 6-foot wall within 3 feet of the hive, so that forces the bees to go straight up. So that's how you can get around it if you're on like just a half acre lot or something like that. You could have, I guess you could. I know people will have 2 hives on half acre lots, so I guess it's weird. If you have less than 1 acre, I guess you're allowed to have 2 hives. But if you have more than 1 acre, you're only allowed to have 2 hives per acre. So my neighbor that attaches me, that below me, that's part of my property line, he's got 2.419 acres that used to be a horse farm. He had 2 horses on it, him and his wife. And they died this past 2 years, both of them. They're buried actually on the property. And he's thinking about selling it. So I have an opportunity to buy it. He hasn't put it up for sale or nothing like that. I just know that he's might be selling it. One of the problems is he's got an above ground pool that's actually on that lot, that 2.419 acres, and not on his home lot. His home lot is 0.61 acres, so a little over a half acre lot. And when we were talking to him, he asked me if I wanted to buy both lots. He'd be more willing to sell both lots, which I would do. I would just flip the house. I built my house. I was actually the builder. So, and I worked for my uncle, Sims Limit Cabinet Company. I built cabinets, countertops, and know a lot of people in the housing construction. I did, a long time ago. So it's not, I would know who to call. I still to this day know who to call to help me flip a house. Because I would do some of it myself, but being 65 years old next year, that's something I don't want to be doing all the time. Plus, I'm busy beekeeping 25, 30 hives. Well, what's this about Amazon? Yeah, buy wax. Bob's got a good place. Yeah, yeah. You're right. Bob usually has good prices, pretty good prices for 10-pound blocks, 5-pound blocks, 2-pound blocks, I forget. I might buy a block or two. They don't take up much space. Throw them in my front seat of the truck. So I might buy a little bit of wax this year, make some more candles. I didn't get as much wax this year than I did in previous years. And a lot of that because I didn't pour out as many hives, old frames and stuff like that. And I only did one house, I only did one cutout, and I was able to give that comb 100% back to the bees. So, yeah, I think you're right, Russell. Coupon, it's 15% off, if I remember right. So, yeah, maybe I'll buy my friends from Bob too. I haven't bought a whole lot from him, so maybe I'll give him a little love. Yeah, except sugar. Yeah, I wonder what sugar price is going to be next year. I have a 25-pound bag left over from this year, and I'll probably be making some fondant. Um, probably should do it pretty soon. Because I can't, my barn, I have water up in my barn, but my walls aren't, they're just regular steel walls. So I have to drain, I don't have, I turn my water off during the winter time or it'd freeze all my pipes, but plumbing. So I don't have water, I can turn it on and then I drain it actually in my basement, my house. I got a water line going all the way back from my barn down to my house. It's all downhill, so it works great. I got two ball valves, one to stop it and then one to drain it. So it works out great. I should show you my little contraption I made to do all that someday. Yeah, migratory lids. Yeah, he's got good lids too. Bob does quality stuff and all his stuff. He's a good guy. When we were at Sherrville, this last year that was there, our rooms were pretty close, right next to each other, same floor, and I don't know how many times I ran to him and his wife, and it seemed like every time we ran into each other, we would be talking. So I got to know Bob a little bit more than most people do that just goes by and say hi to him. I actually got to go out to dinner with him one time, just him and his wife and myself, and that was fun. Little things like that. Yeah, I did Scott. I got one down here in downtown Cincinnati. It's about the same price, same deal, 50-pound bags. They don't advertise it. You have to call them up and ask them, tell them, hey, I need a couple 50-pound bags. How many you need? And then they'll sell them to you for that price. I don't know what next year's will be. I don't like picking up 50-pound bags of sugar anymore, though. But 25-pound bags, I prefer nowadays. But I need to get young. I got to go back. Actually, when I turned 65 years old, the gym down the street at me is free. So I think a couple days a week, I'm going to have to start hitting the gym since it's free and build up my muscles a little bit more. So I can pick up those 50-pound bags like I could when I was young. Something I could do a couple days a week, 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. That'll work. 1 hour each day. So yeah, so I'll make some fondant up for January, February time, early 1st of February time frame. But that's usually when I start putting pollen patties on them. So I'm not real sure. Can you put pollen in fondant? Make fondant pollen patties? So that'd be a win-win when I put them on in into January. Give them a little bit of sugar, give them a little bit of pollen. I guess you could. I don't know why you couldn't. When it cools down to that 120 degrees, add the pollen in. It'd probably make it a little bit firmer than how soft it is. So that might be a win-win. Give them a little bit of pollen and then keep them on with the inverted sugars. I might do that. No, for what? Putting pollen in? Squats every day. Yeah, Sarah, that's a good idea. Toe lifts is a good one. Squats, toe lifts. My knee, that's one of the ones I do is squats because I keep my knee bending. Yeah, Vince. Hey, Vincent. Actually, when I make my fondant, I'll do that. I'll do a video. We'll set it up and all that. That's a good idea. Thanks for the idea. And I'm gonna make it with pollen, which I've never done before. But I don't see any reason why I couldn't. It would just be like making a pollen patty, but this will just be hot, and I'll just put it in during the cool stage when it's cooling down. I could probably wait till it gets down to 50 degrees and then mix it in. 100, under 100 degrees, mix it in till it gets my thickiness. Healthy gluten, yeah. Yeah, Vincent. You need a good candy temperature gauge, one that's accurate, one that's good, and you need to know your flame or your electric. Flame's a little bit easier than electric, and get that temperature right there between 234 and 240. If you go up above 240, you're going to start making hard candy. And if you don't get up to 234, then you have consistency issue with your fondant. You got to hold it for that about 20 minutes at that between that range, that 6-degree range. So that's the critical time, that 20 minutes. And then you got to whip it really good to turn into a fondant. So that's a big little tougher part, getting it all whipped pretty good. So that's the whole key. The key is temperature and then whipping it. I'll probably put some Hive Alive too after when it cools down. So a little bit of fondant, a little bit of Hive Alive liquid. So I'll put those on 1st of February, end of January, all depending on the weather. So when first several maple trees bloom, March 1st, plus or minus 2 or 3 days, they'll be rocking. Yeah. So I use Matt's fondant recipe. Start at 10 pounds of sugar. I usually just do 10 pounds at a time. I'll probably do 2 batches. I might do a double this time. I have plenty of pots. I could probably do 100 pounds at a time. But then whipping it at the end would be an issue. I'd have to put it in a mixer, which I don't. A big mixer, like an industrial mixer. I don't have one of those. Maybe I need to invest in one. Nah. I'll probably just do 2 10-pound patches, and that to be enough. I would guess I'd only have to give them a half pound of fondant. So if I make 20 pounds of fondant, then it's going to be probably meant if I put some pollen in it, make it a pollen fondant, probably somewhere between 22 pounds. So that would give me like 40. If I do them half-pound pieces, that would give me 44 pieces. That'd be more than enough. I might even make them a pound. Yeah, Russell, I heard one guy saying we're going to get 3 to 4 feet of snow this year. Um, that would be a little bit. That'd be a little bit more than 4 feet would be average. 3 feet would be one of our good snow years. Would be a little bit above it. But yeah, I've heard the same thing, Russell. I think it's going to be a little bit warmer than normal. Well, I think it's going to be the same thing we've gotten this whole year, where we get when we already gotten here, we'll get cold, we'll get down to -9, -10, and then for 3 or 4 days, and then we have 3 or 4 days where it gets up to 40 to 50 during the winter time. And we'll do that every other week. And during those transitions of warm fronts and cold fronts, we're going to get snow or really cold 35-degree rain. Like today, when it rained, it was 40 degrees out. Cold rain. I think this evening it got up to 45 maybe. Still cold rain. So I got a feeling. Yep. But we keep getting right now. Well, what's going to happen is we get the Canadian air, then we get the southern air, the Gulf air. And my guess is around Christmas that'll stop and we'll just get the Canadian air, so it'll get cold. But typically when we get really, really cold, that cold air that comes down out of Alberta Clippers out of Canada don't have any moisture with them. And we get like 1 inch dusting, ½ inch to inch dustings, maybe 2 inches at the most. So yeah, we might get a bunch of those, but it doesn't add up to that much snow. It's when we get the warm fronts that come up from the south that meets up with the cold air, and we get 5 to 7, 10 inches of wet snow, and then it gets cold and it freezes into black ice. Yeah, about average temperature, and then a lot of snow, because I think the warm air is going to keep trying to push up north. Yeah, Russell's up north. You're going to get nothing but cold air from the Canada air. Right where I live, it's 50-50, except for, I would say, the second week of January to about the first or second week of February. Those are our really coldest month, and we're definitely. I mean, I think there's. Well, some years ago we got down to 25 below, but that's not typical. We usually get down to 0. I pray that we don't get any negative lows, stay down in single digits, but -8, -10 is not too typical that we get a couple of those every year. That's Fahrenheit, not a metric. So, but there'll be 5 to 10 days we'll be flying. The bees will fly in January, and in February there'll be a week or 2 weeks they'll fly, which really makes it hard on the bees. Just like Saturday, it was 73 degrees, and the bees were flying. I actually saw bees bringing in some red pollen, which I couldn't believe. Red pollen again. And it was 22 degrees with 2.5 inches of snow on the ground 4 days before that. So I don't know how there was any pollen still surviving, but the bees found it. We don't have any where I live. There's no big factories, unless they flew down to the river somewhere, down by the railroad tracks are along the Ohio River. It's 3 miles down to the middle of the river is 3 miles, and down to the bottom of the river is about 2 miles, 2.5 miles. So who knows Let me see what I got. Text message. Hold on a minute. No junk. Typical junk stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to go to Nabby. I'm going to be really mellow down there this year. I've been doing these two pretty many years now. So third one down there and a couple and down in Tennessee. So Cayman's making a lot of money and the suppliers off of me over those years. So I got to do some thinking about what I want to get. Hives, like I said, I got the 4 hives, about 70 frames. I probably should buy about 10 medium supers and frames. Well, no, I just need frames because I'm pretty convinced I'm going to go with 1 deep and 1 medium super as my brood box instead of 2 deeps, or doing single brood management like I used to. I think I'm going to go do a hybrid and do one of each. But I can take all my deep boxes and cut the bottoms off and make them medium supers. I just won't have all the frames. So I'll need to steal frames from my existing ones, and then I won't have enough frames. So I don't need to buy boxes. I probably need to buy about 20 times 10. So I need to buy 200 frames. Plus I need 70. I need to buy 275, 200. I need to buy 280 medium frames. Because I can't cut down deep frames to make them medium frames. That would be nice if we could do that. I guess I technically could, but that would be a pain in the butt. All right, Sarah, have a good night. I'm not going to stay on. I think 9 o'clock, I'm going to end it. Just because it's winter time. I'm only on here twice a week. Once every 2 weeks, twice a week. That'd be crazy. And I got 10 watching. I mean, Bob's probably on at 10 o'clock, at 8 o'clock. I don't need any deep frames. I got plenty of those. And if I convert my 10 frames deep top boxes to mediums, I'm going to have all those frames available too with comb on them. So I have plenty. I have enough comb for 50 or 60 nukes. So yeah, well, I'm going to be converting all my hives. I don't have to do them all this year, so maybe I'll do half of them. I don't know. I have to cut down all the boxes. But I got my old table saw rebuilt, so that's cool. So I better use that. My grandpa's table saw, 1946 table saw that weighs hundreds of pounds. It's heavy. So I think I did a little video on that, how I restored that table saw. They don't build them like that anymore. All cast iron base, 55-inch table on it. So it's pretty nice. I can cut those boxes down really easy to make them supers, medium supers. So 2 of my hives are going to be, one of them's going to be my Apamate hive, and the other one, my Apamate bottom with deeps on it, will be 2 of my 4 hives if I end up just doing 4 hives at my place. And then I'll just take 2 of my other ones. Probably, I might move my bees in there because they're daughters. Both of those are daughters from this year. So they're good. So I'll move 2 of my Corey Stevens queens. I got 3 of them that's going to swarm this year. Well, they're going to want to swarm this year. So two of them I'll keep here, and one of them I'll do a big split on them. I'll probably do a 3 or 4 way split on them when I move the hives and stuff like that. Make nukes out of them. So that way I'll keep it from swarming. And I'll probably sell the one queen. I'll sell a nuke for like 225. Make a little extra money on it since it's a Corey Stephen queen. Yeah, handsaw and chisel. You know what? I could build well, I don't need to build my supers. I need frames. Well, I don't build frames. I don't have the right tools for that. Well, I could make the tools I have work, but it wouldn't be worth my time and effort. I'll probably I'll probably wait for Beeline when they sell $1 a frame, and that's when I'll buy my 270 frames. And then I'll buy 270 plastic foundations separately from somebody. So I'll probably buy the frames and buy see how many foundations I can buy. I got probably a couple dozen foundation, but no frames for medium supers right now left over. Hey, Kimberly, hope everything's good. So, yeah, so I do need to do that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do not. And that's one thing to have in double deeps. You don't have to worry about frames and stuff like that. And that's what I have right now. So I don't know. I might not switch. But two deeps the queen does not need two deeps for brood. She probably only needs really 10 frames, but queens don't go out 10 frames. They usually go 6 or 7 and then 3 or 4 of them on top. So that's why a medium super would be great. So you have 7 frames on the bottom and 6 frames up in the medium supers to fill all those up for 10 deep frames. Something like that. And then 2 frames of pollen and then 2 frames of honey. And that gives you your 10 frames. And that'll be your brood. But if you do, but the way I got them set up right now, I have 2 frames of honey in my upper boxes, or 3 frames, because I got plenty of pollen down on the 2 frames down the bottom box. So, and they don't put that much pollen up in the top box when especially down the bottom box. So, I think so, but another advantage that they have in medium supers, it's a lot easier to find queens on a smaller frame than it is on a larger frame. When I go to mark them or to go to mark them and I sell them, all the queens I sell, I mark, but sometimes I don't mark them until I sell them. So that the day before when I put the nuke together, I mark her, put it back on the frame. So I probably will do that. And then I'll be replacing the 4 frames down at the bottom. But I'll have plenty of deep frames with comb for at least a few years. So that won't be a problem. Yeah, Vincent, that's a good idea. Use pallets. I got a couple pallets laying around. I've made nukes out of them and lids out of them and stuff like that. Piece them together. It's good cedar wood. So I hope everybody's ready for Thanksgiving and have a good Thanksgiving, and then it'll be Christmas time before you know it. It's kind of like already here. At least the stores are. So I could, yeah, I might, yeah, I'll buy them. Like I said, I'll buy my frames. I'm not building them. So I won't be able to do any of this project until after Nobby because I don't have anything in my barn right now to build to put together. That's the only bad part is I need to buy some stuff now so I can have it shipped to me so I have some little stuff to build before Nobby. But I got enough to keep me busy. I got a oh shoot a clipper branch to make mulch and stuff like that. And the engine's all locked up. I got to tear that engine down, rebuild it. So that's a good little hobby for me. Stuff I know how to do. Stuff I have done. I haven't rebuilt an engine, but probably since I was 10 years old. When I made I made a mini bike when I was 10. So out of an engine. So stuff that kids don't do these days, or even know how to do that kind of stuff. But everybody knew how to do that stuff when I was around back in the 70s, 60s, yeah, early 70s. So I'm going to tear down an engine. I think it's a 3.5 horsepower Grisden Stratton engine. I think it's 3.5. It might be a 5. Doesn't make any difference. Maybe it is a 5 horsepower. But that's one project I got to do here in a few weeks. I got a kitchen table I'm going to sand down and restain it. I might whitewash it in the house. Little things like that. But that's not beekeeping stuff. That's just projects. You know, I got 12 people. What's 14? I just lost 2 people. So what time is it? 8:30. I've been on here an hour. Woohoo! And I think 9's it. And I'm going to say hey to Bob. He always gets all his Canadian friends on. I haven't built up a team. It was Nancy and I, and Nancy bailed out for the winter time. She'll be back on in the spring. And I haven't texted anybody to join me. I just hope somebody would join me. But Scotty didn't. I have to puzzle him on something so he jumps in here to clarify it. That's the trick. He could have, because he gets on now with on Thursdays. He said he would never do that. Now he's a regular. So never say never. That's something I learned a long time ago. Never say never. Just like I said, I don't want to build frames. I don't think I ever built frames, but I won't say I never build a frame. I might. You never know. Things change. James was on here earlier. I guess he dropped out and popped back in. Same thing with Collector Rick. I'm going to check if I missed any prediction. Talking about weather. Yeah. I don't think I did. Vincent, I don't think Vincent ever posted on, you posted on what happened to your fondant, but that's all right. It can happen. I've made fondant that's a little wet because I didn't cook it long enough. Stuff like that. So no biggie. Stuff I got on them right now is not as firm as I like. I put them in plastic bags so it wouldn't possibly drip on the bees. And golden honey we trust. I might start stocking honey for future years because honey prices, it's probably better than the stock market to store honey. 10 years later, sell it, get a lot more for it. Probably beat the stock market. So yeah, Bob's on. I figure he is. I'm not. I mean, Bob and I were pretty good friends, but he he kind of did me wrong on these Tuesday nights because he was glad that I filled in for him, but then he never even told me he was getting back on. So we could have joined up together or whatever. And he to this day he's never said a thing to me or text me or anything. And he's got my email. We've text back and forth previous to him starting back up this year. So I don't know what's up with him, and not years saying, "Hey Tom, you want to join me now down here in the South or something like that during the winter time." Hey, Kimberly, what happened? Your honey crystallized. Yeah, it can get pretty hard. You can get a push a spoon through it slowly. I've had that happen. Get crystallized that hard, and you can warm it up, but it takes. It seems like it takes a week, 4 or 5 days to liquefy the honey. I'm starting to get my customers. I think it's people on Facebook and YouTube are helping that people are finally getting educated that when they go to the store and they see honey and it's crystallized, that's the one to buy because they know it's real honey. And my customers are just starting to learn that. But that's guaranteed honey. So it's good to see that my customers are finally getting educated about that. And my wholesalers, the people that sell at the store, they understand that. I mean, I tell them that, tell the customers that that's the best one to buy, the one that's crystallized. So I do need to make some cream honey. I need to make a cinnamon up, but it's already getting late for that. I need to do that soon. I got the starter already, so that's not a problem. Yeah, you know what I use? Let me show you. Um, let me see if I can get one real quick. Give me a second. Oh, here's what I use. Camera's not working good. It's a shoot. It doesn't like the black. It's one of those. Man, that's the worst I've ever seen it. It's one of those plant starter seed starting pads. And I put those on a table, stack the honey on top of the pad, and then I put a box over it to hold the heat in. And it warms up the bottles perfect. No, you got a heating bottling tank, that works too. But if I have like my 1 pound bottles and it crystallizes as they're sitting in my cabinet, I can just put them on that starter pad and put the box back over it. And next day, it's all uncrystallized because pads get up to like 75 degrees. But if you put a box in over it, it gets up to like 85, I think 87, 88 degrees. And it works really good. Yes, cinnamon extract to make but yeah, so one of those seed warming pads work really well. Starter plant things made for starting seeds for gardens and stuff like that. So that's what I use when I get my bottles. Now my 5 gallon buckets, I got a pizza warmer that I can put them in to warm them up. And like I said, right now I got an 18 gallon or 19 gallon honey tank, and I'll put 2 to 3 buckets in there, and I can just turn it on to 95 degrees and let it sit for a couple days, and it's good. Yeah, get it out after Christmas. Hobby time. So there's 4 hives I bought for all unassembled. So I'll be doing in January after Nobby, I'll be putting those hives together, building them. And then, like I said, I'm going to wax boil them, 2 of them, 2 sets. And probably in first good weather day in March, if it gets up to 70 degrees, I'll fire up and melt the microcrystalline wax. It takes hours to get that wax heated up. And this year I did it one time on a cooler day. It was like only 50 degrees, and I learned my lessons. Don't wax boil when it's cold out. Wait till a 70-degree day. It makes a big difference. Getting that wax up to boiling temperature. Get hot. I'll get up to 270, 300 degrees. You know. So yeah, so I'm going to be making some cinnamon, creamed honey, and then probably in February I'll start. I haven't ever made this, but I'm going to make an apple pie, creamed honey for the springtime, spring and summer. So I'll make that probably in February before beekeeping starts getting crazy in March and April. So, yeah, I bought the Hilco one too, Kimberly, but they advertised as a 19-gallon a few years ago. Well, Honey Creamer is just one of those 10-speed, I don't know how many quart mixer it is. It works good. The 10-quart one. I used it on the slowest speed 1. And you just slowly mixes it up, mixes it up. So, man, I had a chance before I even became a beekeeper. I used to do a lot of automation for Publix grocery store, and I probably could have bought one of their industrial mixers that they make pies with out of, and their bakery in the bakery building. I could have bought one of their old machines, probably for a few $100. And since I don't do that stuff anymore, that opportunity's going. Go down to Florida and hit Publix grocery stores. I automated a lot of their baking in part of their business. So you buy goods from Publix, cakes and batters and stuff like that. The equipment that made all that stuff, I automated a lot of that stuff. Same thing with beer. Any Butter Miller that you drink, I automated all those plants too. Factory lines. Part of my job before I became a beekeeper. Yeah, Vincent. I don't sell a whole lot of it. It doesn't go off the shelf really fast. Most people don't know what it is. So when I do my classes now, my free classes for beginner beekeepers and experienced beekeepers, I do 2 classes, one of each. They're like 2.5 hours long, 2 hours to 2.5 hours long. I bring them with me, and I bring it up about cream honey, just to educate them that it's a product of beekeeping. But yeah, in my area, nobody even knows what it is. You know, yeah, I agree. But once they try it and they get used to it, they come back and buy it. So I have one store. It's actually a butcher store, a meat market, and top of the line. And I sell some there. When I give them some. So I like selling creamed honey because I make more money off of it. It's more profitable per amount of honey. Yeah, I can't do sampling at the stores that sell it. And so I live back on a private drive. There's no way I can put a stand out because I live at the end of a dead end, 3/10 of a mile back on a private drive. 2/3 of a mile back on a private drive. I knew I'd get it eventually. Well, yeah, pretty far back. So I don't have traffic going by me. So I'm hoping that Kevin and Jennifer that live down below me call me sometime this winter. I have till spring to either buy that property or move my hives. So hopefully I hear something back from them in the near future. Probably a week or two before Christmas, I'll call them and wish them a Merry Christmas, and I give me an opportunity to say, "Hey, thinking about selling still?" Let's see what they do. They might wait till the first of the year. Even when we start doing that, James, farmers markets and craft shows, this in 2026. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of them, but I'm going to start doing some of them. Probably just a couple farmer markets. Probably two of them that do it every. They do it every week for about 7 or 8 weeks, or once a month. I forget. Well, one of them's once a month, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. So 3 or 4 times a year, 4 or 5 times a year, I should say. May through August or September. I think they go to September. That way I get to sell it at retail size versus wholesale price. I never did that because I worked 8 to 5, 5 days a week, and I didn't want to give up my Saturdays. I was busy beekeeping Saturdays, and I try not to do too much on Sundays. It's against my principles, morals, day of rest. So that'd only give me one day. So now, since I'm retired, it's not a big deal. Saturday mornings to do farmers markets, 9 to noon or whatever they do, 10 to 1. So I can handle that. So I'm going to have to build some stands, make some octagon stands, or buy them. I'll probably build them. No big deal. And for shelving and stuff like that. Get the equipment I need to set up. So, yeah, more stuff to do. It's always something to do. Just when you're a beekeeper, it's always something to do. Always something to talk about. We have 14 people watching. Okay. The tourist been floating 10 to 14. Not too many comments. And local smoke. Okay. James, I sell my honey um, in a garden center. Actually, I sell a ton at the garden center in the springtime. And when they sell the peaches and honey sells big time. And they bring up peaches up from down south and sell them up here. And in the 2 weeks they do peaches, I probably sell 150, 250 bottles of honey during that time. And then I got one place, I got 2 hardware stores, and I got a butcher store. butcher market. So I sell right now in 5 different places. One grocery store, but he doesn't sell my honey very much. There's a friend of mine, Paul, and they buy his honey, and he sells it $1 cheaper than I do. And I won't lower the price. He's giving his honey away. I tell him that, but he's going to change. So he lost his partner, so he doesn't have half the hives he used to have. So that's what my plan is. So if I go to farmer markets, I'm going to sell some retail. So that'd be a good deal instead of wholesale. And I still get pretty good pricing. I get $11.75 wholesale price, and they sell it for usually $15 to $17, depending who it is. In Ohio, I'm not allowed to tell them what to sell it for. They mark it up themselves. But once they buy it's theirs. They can sell it for whatever they want to sell it for. So, but that's what they typically sell it for. $14.99 up to $16.99. So, yeah, I get a pretty good wholesale price in my little neck of the woods. It's a pretty there's a lot of rich people in my neighborhood area. I'm not. I keep it simple. There's a lot of high class people here. A lot of old money. Old money. Yeah, Vince, I can't do that either because the only people that drive by my house is I have one house at the very end behind me or past me. So they're the only ones that drive by, and if they want to buy my honey, they just walk over. Say, hey, Tom, I need a bottle of honey. So that's it. The only other cars that go by there are Amazon deliveries and stuff like that, delivery vehicles, like just that one house. So I don't get many. I know every vehicle that goes past my house, basically. And if I don't know it, then I know it's an Amazon driver or a FedEx driver. Well, they're using their trucks. Not always. So that's kind of funny. That's one thing bad living back on a private drive, especially being at the end. But all those opportunities to sell honey, your location is about zero. My wife at school sells more honey than I do here at the house. So she probably buys, I don't know, 30 bottles, 40 bottles a year, I guess. Probably more than that. She probably already did 20, 30, 25 bottles from me already. To her teachers and friends and parents. You know. Yeah, I would do the same thing, Vincent, if I had that opportunity. Maybe if I buy that house and I flip it, that's on a main drive. I can put it in the contract that I get to put a self-serve stand at the end of it. Actually, if I buy the property, there'll be road frontage on the front of that road, so I actually could build a stand there anyway if I even buy that 2.419 acres. Not his house. There's a lot there. There's a creek and a lot that runs down through there. So you could easily sell my honey there on that street, because that is the main street below me. So maybe an opportunity will come that I can do that. That would be sweet. So Vincent, then you can shoot me pictures of your stand, and I can build something similar. But I could probably take an old cabinet or something like that too. Wax dip it all so it lasts forever. Make it look like a beehive. That's what I should do. Build one like a beehive self-serve station. That would actually get some attention. Build it 3 times the size, big size. Maybe that's an idea, Vincent. Change your box, make it look like a beehive. Paint it white. Then they'd see honey, 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 honey. Woo-hoo. So maybe maybe that'll be down the road too. You never know. That'd be pretty cool. Cause I could just sell it down there. I could buy a golf cart or something. That probably wouldn't work. I'd have to buy an ATV and run it down the hill and run it back up to fill it back up. That would be awesome. So it might happen. I'll keep you posted if I buy that property. So yeah, that'd be sweet if I could. I gave him an offer, so he's got a price on it, and I know it's a fair price. But I gave him because I did my homework of what land was just empty land was going for in my area. And I'm right in the mean of it. Mean a little bit lower side, but it's all hillside. It's not flat land, it's a hillside. Like I said, from my house down to the bottom of the hill, it's a 150-foot drop. Yeah, probably not 150, 130-foot drop. It's a lot. It's about the height of the biggest tree, 120 feet, 130 feet, something in that ballpark, down to the creek. Down to the lot, they usually sit up about 10, 15 feet. So, yeah. Just like one time when Mark was on, he said, yeah, all steep little hills where I live, straight up and down. 600 pounds, that's cool, Vincent. Yeah, that'd be sweet if I could do that. The self-serve stand, if I could buy that property. I didn't even think of that until you brought that up. And I started thinking about, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, Taylor Road. So, yeah, it's a busy road. But I could actually put a little spot where they can pull off. Actually, there is a spot already where they can pull off and park their car to get to the stand. I can put it right next to it. Man, that's a good idea. I need to buy that property. That would help me in so many ways. And beekeeping. More than I realized. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock, and I'm almost about out of subjects to talk about. I know everybody, for people except for maybe Randy down south, that's on here. Still doing beekeeping, but the rest of us are finished except for getting ready for next year. Everybody's got their hives packed up, got their honey / fondant / sugar on top of them, whatever they do. And planning for next year. I don't plan to expand. The only thing I'm planning on doing is selling more nukes. More than I did this past year. Probably hoping to double it. So that's because I got the hives now to do it with. And I got the nukes, mating nukes to make new queens. So that's what I've been building on. I might buy one of those Michael's 21st Bees 4-frame 4-way mating nukes that's insulated. That looks pretty sweet. But I heard the little price. I didn't look at the price yet. I'm not a real big for those 4.5 frames dumping bees in them. They don't make the best queens, I don't think. But I know lots so many beekeepers that do that, though. And they're good queens, so maybe I don't know the secret yet. How to do. But I think the key is, instead of putting 1 cup of bees in there, 300 bees, put 800 bees in it. And then I have learned you got to close them up for 3 days so they reorient back um, to that hive. So treat them just like I do if I doing a split in my own yard, keep them closed up for 3 nights. So I never planned myself ahead of time to do that. So that'd be good. So that way they stay and they make that a home. Put comb on those frames and stuff like that. And it's 4 frames, so 4 is not too bad than those little styrofoam ones. That's 3 little frames. So that would probably work. So that'd be a total of 2 frame, basically a 2 frame mating nook. We're close to it. So 1.5 to 1 2/3, probably something like that. I might do that. I got a couple of those 3 frames, 3-way boxes. They work pretty good. So I can do 6 of them, plus I got the 12, plus I got 4 framers. I can do about 25 queens right now. 25. I can do 12, 6, that's 18, that's 20, 21. I can do 21 queens. No, plus I got the 6 frame. I can do 27 queens right now. So anywhere from a 5 frame down to a 3 frame nuke. And I do actually have a small box that I made that has 4 frames in it. So I can do 28 queens at a time. So not too bad. Graft about 35 and get at least 28 good queen cells. So that's what I want to do. That's going to be my that's going to be my expansion next year. I'm going to do that in early April. So the queens will be ready to fly about the 3rd week of April to the end of April. And by then there's plenty of drones. Probably 4th April. This year I grafted on April Fool's Day. The year before that I grafted on the 28th of February because it was warm out. We had a warmer February than we did March. No, it wasn't February. I meant March 28th. I grafted because we had a warm February and the hives got big. They had drones in late end of February. And then we had a cold March. It was crazy. Crazy. It was 2 years ago. But I usually wait till April Fool's Day. Somewhere that week I'll graft, so the queens will be ready to fly around 3 weeks later. Then I'll graft again, so that I'm ready to put cells in. After that part, about that same time, so I can repeat the process. Every cell 20 nukes, sell 20 nukes, so I'll sell around 40 nukes. Because 40 to 45 nukes, depending. If I do 28 queens and I get 80%, 90%, all depends on queens back being mated. I'll have at least 20, so maybe 20, 22 to 25. Then I'll repeat that same process. So yeah, 45 nukes. I'll only promise 40, but not 45, not 45 and 50. Because you never know about Mother Nature, how many queens get mated. So that's going to be my expansion to do a better job on that next year versus hives. Get my nuke production better. All right. I think that's it. It's 9 o'clock. I got 14 people still watching. There's been no more comments. Vincent's got the last 3. He's the winner for the chicken dinner. Yeah. Anybody got any questions? Frisky Otto. Yeah, that's Frisky Otto. Good luck. It works. Right. And besides using totes to build them, putting them on the north side in the shade. Basically, the shade is the key, especially during the daytime. They can get a little bit of sun in the morning. They can get a little bit of sun in the evening, but that midday they don't get any sun, which typically is the north side of the building. Um, I place my swarm traps, and I use buildings. I use houses and barns and sheds. And I sometimes one of them is a barber shop. I put them in the back of a barber shop, and I put them on a chair. Sometimes they'll have a table in their backyard. I put them on a table. Sometimes I just bring a concrete block and I'll put them on top of a concrete block so they're only 6 inches off the ground. That's what I do at the barber shop, and I catch swarms every time. I don't put them 15 feet up in the tree. My highest traps are at my brother's farm. He's got a little platform off his barn, and it's just above, it's like 7 feet up off the ground. And I put my traps up on that platform. And that's the highest I put my hives. Every one of my traps that I put out, I catch swarms in them. If I put it out, I'll have a swarm. Okay, Central California. Yeah. Oh, thanks for the compliment. You should have no problem in California. Bees are bees. So they're going to work the same way. So you got a lot of commercial beekeepers in central and northern California. So you should have plenty of swarms capabilities. But Central California is warm. I know that. So you have the same, unless you're up in the mountains, you'll have temperature's a biggie. Those boxes get hot. You got a lot. You get a swarm in a box. Also, I don't. 40 liters is too small. I like my boxes to be 55, 60 liters. So that's why the 19-gallon totes work really well. And having empty space underneath your frames is a huge key. Bees love to have empty space. They see. I think they're smart enough to see that they can expand from the frames down below underneath the frames. And what's really nice, if you're delinquent, I don't bring this up in the video, but if you're delinquent of getting your bees out of the box, they're going to build comb underneath your frame. But there's just that much room, which is a perfect size room to cut it out and put it right, use rubber bands and put it right in a frame, a deep frame. So it's not being wasted. You just cut it right off the bottom of the frame, and then use rubber bands to strap it to the frame. And in a day or two, they'll glue that. They'll use wax and wax that comb into that frame to be a solid comb frame again. So yeah, you get hot summers. I see 112. That's hotter than us. We only get low 90s. So yeah, put them in the shade. Put them in the shade. Put them in the north side of structures. Whatever that structure is, works. And if you can get them if you can get them 10 inches off the ground out of the weeds, basically, get them out of the weeds, you'll be in good shape. And one of them's on a whiskey barrel. I put on. I put in a chair. One I put on concrete blocks. One I put on a platform. One of them I put on a fence post, a wooden, big round fence post. That's probably about 5 feet off the ground, just above my head, 5.5 feet off the ground. That's not by a building. Well, it kind of is, but it's by a row of trees, and it gets shaded by the trees. It's probably my only exception. I don't have one by a building. And yeah, I gave up. I didn't have real good luck putting them in trees, not like I do buildings. It makes sense. Where I live, where I live, most trees aren't big enough to have lives in a tree, and they looking out for houses to put um, the swarms in, in walls and floors. So that's why I use building structures work best. Oh, one of them I got by a shed that at a garden center, I have another one on the north side of a silo, grain silo. So it's a structure. It's a round silo. So I just got it on the north side, sitting on some those tall concrete blocks. It's like they're about 6 feet off the ground. Two of them stacked on top of each other. So yeah, I don't like getting up on ladders, carrying boxes up and down anymore, being 64 years old. So it works. Yeah, bees like structure, so they fly around and they don't like flying. They don't like they go in your swarm trap and the sun's hitting it. They won't use it. They'll turn it down. So that's why I say shade, 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 shade. All right, I'm going to call it a night, and I'll be on in 2 weeks from now. So what does that put me? You pull up my calendar. That will put me on the 2nd of December. And then that'll put me on to the 16th of September in December, and then the 30th. So that way everybody can have a Christmas. We can do a Christmas thing. Maybe I'll do a giveaway on the 16th. I'll plan something like that for little Christmas gifts. That'll work. And we only have 15, 20 people, better chances of winning something. And then 30th, and then we'll be into the new year. We'll have Nobby, so I'll probably skip that Tuesday. Well, it'll be 13th. That'll be after Nobby, so we can talk about that. 27th, and then in February, I'll probably start going weekly again. 3rd, 10th, 17th, etc. Because we'll start warming up and beekeeping. Some people will be started already. So that's kind of my game plan for the next month or so. Every 2 weeks to about February. And all right, well, everybody, since I'll be here back on the 2nd, everybody have a good Thanksgiving break, Thanksgiving Day. And I'll see you next month, December 2nd. Man, time flies by. Everybody have a great night. Man, my camera's been acting weird today. Night, everyone. Everybody have a good one. God bless.